goes by so slowly.
Yep, as long as time keeps ticking and human beings continue to record all the interesting stuff that happens, then history, as a subject, will just keep on trucking.
So far, history, not prehistory, all you history boffins out there, goes from around 3,300 BC, the Bronze Age, right up until about now. You get the idea. So Tony, that leaves it wide open to which bits of the past you're studying at the moment. And whatever happened to please? Okay, since I'm a nice guy, I'll help you out. Welcome to Lucky Dip History, where everyone's a winner. I figure you'll come across one of these time periods at least one point. Let's see here. Ancient Egypt.
About 5,000 years ago, the civilization that has left us ancient treasures like the pyramids of Giza and the Sphinx began in northern Africa. Daily life in ancient Egypt flowed from the River Nile, most people being farmers, craftsmen, working all the way up the line to the almighty rulers, the pharaohs. Famous for their mysterious hieroglyphics, amazing artworks and extravagant jewellery. One of the coolest and creepiest traditions practiced by the ancient Egyptians was the art of mummification. And today, at the Abbey Museum, for one show only, I shall be your mummy. Step 1, break the nose.
On 1, 2, 3.
What's next, Nikita?
Because what we have to do is take this hook, shove it up his nostril, and then whip it around a bit.
Scrambled brains, my fave. Next, I get cut open with a piece of obsidian rock. And then, it's time for the canopic jar.
So Nikita, which bits of me go into these canopic jars?
Okay, so your liver goes into this one, the human-headed. Your lungs then go into the baboon. Your stomach goes into the hawk here. And your intestines lastly go into the jackal.
You're very comfortable with all of this?
Absolutely, done it once, done it 100 times.
As are you guys, putting bits of people in jars.
After coating me in natron, a kind of salt, for 40 days, finally, it's time to get wrapping.
This would normally take 14 days to wrap him from start to finish. The reason that ancient Egyptians did the mummification was so that they could preserve their bodies so that when they went into the afterlife, which is sort of like the heaven and hell, that their bodies would be really awesome for them to come back to.
Walk like an Egyptian.
Well, I guess we've wrapped up that bit of history. Thanks, Tony.
Next Lucky Dip topic is the Middle Ages. After the fall of the Roman Empire and before the Renaissance period, there was the Middle Ages. If you're into castles, knights, jousting, fair maidens, the Crusades, then this is the time period for you. Who and what you were was reflected in your clothing. The nobility, of course, got all the good stuff, and the peasants got the rough end of the stick, with dull colours and basic fabrics. Ready to party like it's 600 to 1600 AD?
We're going to show you a dance from the Middle Ages called the farandole.
Okay, now before we learn these steps, I have a question for you. I can understand knowing what tools a culture uses because you can dig it up and tell how old it is. But how can you dig up a dance? How do you know what steps to do?
A lot of the dances were actually written down. So as people would travel, they'd write them down so they could come back to them later and teach them to other people. But otherwise, they've just been passed down from generation to generation just by doing the dances themselves.
Awesome.
So the farandole, really easy dance, guys. It's a follow the leader dance. So can I get you all to hold hands, please? We take 3 steps and do a bob. So we go step, 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 and bob.
Hit it play on ye oldie CD player.
Step, 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 step.
Medieval mosh pit.
Step, 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 and go.
Time for one last dip. Ancient Rome.
Toga toga. The ancient Romans really knew how to party. Rome officially became a republic in about 500 BC. About 1,000 years later, the last emperor shut up shop. So, really not a bad run, as civilizations go. A lot of what we know about this slice of history is from archaeology, which is basically the study of human beings. Today, Nikita's got a 2-for-1 deal running, so let's dig in to ancient Rome.
So the way we dig, really simple, dustpan and trowel, centimetre or 2 at a time, just scraping back all over the site, keeping it nice and flat so as we find stuff, the sand's not going to fall back on top of it. If you find something, leave it in place, because there could be more of it underneath, so it could be just a little bit you've got at the top and there'll be a massive bit underneath.
Found something already. What do you guys think it is? A bowl. A bowl. Oh, look at that. We're archaeologists, just like Indiana Jones. You guys are scraping and brushing, and I've got my whip at the ready in case these bad guys come and try and take the stuff away.
Found something! It's a bead.
It's a bead? Awesome. What do you think the bead might be made out of?
Glass.
Glass? Yeah. Awesome. Well done.
My group keeps finding these little stones.
It was used for, like, instead of fork, knives and forks we have now, and that's made of bone.
We found another one of these mystery rocks. As you can see, some are black, some are white. They're game pieces. Ancient Roman game pieces for playing games. We've solved the mystery! History homework completed. And Tony, I'm sure you've heard the saying, history never repeats. Well, it's true. Ipso facto, Curio is not doing anyone's homework anymore. I will, however, conduct research for exchange of certain items, say rare horror DVDs, extra chocolatey chocolate chip ice cream, Star Wars memorabilia. We can negotiate.